Welcome to the next one. I will explain the concept of weight. So number one is I want you to understand is that in dancing, we never split weight. In real life, we are. We don't even, in fact, we don't even notice the way on what foot we are standing. We just don't care. It's never really come up. So when we're dancing, we are highly aware of where we are and on what foot are we standing. If we're having a split weight in dancing, it does mean that it's very intentional. Overall, you have to be on a one foot or another. Very rarely you're going to be in a split weight. It's the positions like when you do a crossover, right? So that position is a split weight essentially. So when you know on what foot are you standing in every part of your routine, that makes a giant difference for you. And right away, because you start to work with your back foot a lot. There's one common thing I always explain for whatever reason is that, okay, even if you stand on a one foot, it does mean that the other part always have some type of a weight on it. And the more advanced you go, the more weight you have on the back foot. Or I should better say, the more pressure you are having. So when I go forward here, see, the most bad thing we can see is that you start to drag your back foot. And this becomes really funny because you cannot move forward then. So when you made that step, right, so you're going to go through that type of a split weight, then you have to push your weight. Then even when you're already over the foot, which I'll explain now, it still has some type of like a yoga movement when my body and my center wants to move forward, but my back leg is still pressing back. One of the common things to think about is when you go uphill. When you go uphill, you don't really pull yourself with that leg, right? So you constantly push from the back leg, and only when you're done, you start to use, when your body is there, you start to use your so-called standing leg. So here, we need to come to the common understanding too. So when I'm standing on my leg, it's my standing leg, right? When I am making step forward, this is my pushing leg or my driving leg, right? So this is something that moves me forward. And those things are very important to remember. Another part is when we're doing some type of a movement, let's say a walk, and very often you see the movement of someone is really choppy. So you kind of like, they don't move smooth enough. So the concept here is that your body can be on neutral position, right in the middle of your foot. So in dancing, obviously, we're really aware of on what foot we are standing on. So when I'm here, if you will try to move your weight back all the way to the heel, it's a very different feeling than when you move your weight towards the front, on a front part of the foot, and then to the middle. Saying that, remember we have three positions when we start to dance. It's when I'm moving, first of all, because in dancing we move in concept of movement, and very often I see the concept of static position, which is not good for your dancing at all. So when you're here, I'm going from my back heel, right? I'm going through the middle, I'm going to the front, and I can go back. So when you try this a couple of times, you start to feel your weight. See how much I'm already moving in space. That's how much we create that travel part. So when you make a step, what I want you to remember is when you're making that step, you're going through a split second of a split weight position, then you go through your heel, then you go through the middle, and in the end, you have to come to the front part of your foot to be able to start continuing your movement. So therefore your movement is going to be very smooth. So when I go here, for example, see I'm going from my heel, actually I'm more like towards the heel right now, then in the middle to the front, making that step, going through back, going through middle, going through the front. This is where my weight distribution and my weight movement. Now, remember, see what's happening to my back leg. A lot of people forget that I'm not pulling it in the very end. What's happening is I'm not falling because my weight is still with me, kind of compressing into the back leg, and my back leg is pushing me, my back leg is moving me forward. So those are important concepts of weight, and let's do some exercises.